Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. It is a double upload day. Do make sure you're here for later on where we will get into the preview for tomorrow's vital game, as far as I'm concerned, against Nottingham Forest, Chelsea. There will be a watch along on here tomorrow. We will be giving the post-match review straight after, so make sure you guys are here for that. And the preview is later on today for video number 2. So make sure you're hitting the subscribe button and the notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. But we're going to focus on the press conference that happened earlier than usual. It was a 10 a.m. start in terms of the press conference today. Normally it's 1:30, but it's early because I'm assuming we got to go to Nottingham. So they've done the press conference earlier. And all was going smooth. I got to be honest, everything was going smoothly. Basically the sort of thing we expected to hear from Pochettino. Big up to Soraya. If you don't know Soraya Shiraz, go and check out her Twitter and make sure you're following. She's the only one that shows up to these press conferences, right? And asks the questions that the manager needs to be asked. You know, she was asking him all sorts of tactical questions, the Cucurella role, inverting fullbacks. Is this the plan? How are we moving forward? But really picking his brains on a footballing level. And you can see whenever she's always asking a question, he's always like, oh, you know, like, whoa, this is different. And it happens every time. So I think he also looks a little relieved to answer those sort of questions. Like, it's like he almost wants to get into that a bit more. Big up to Soraya. But it was all going smooth. Everything was going really smoothly. And then Pochettino decided to come out with, it was the last thing that he said, I think, in the press conference. Some would see it as a bombshell. I am seeing it as a chess move. What's the chess move? Let's get into it. Todd Boehly, we spoke about yesterday, his comments, right? About Chelsea's last 2.5 games and all of this, and we're playing really good football, and it's all about winning. And we went over Todd Boehly's comments yesterday in yesterday's video. I'll link it to you right here if you haven't seen it already. But Pochettino reacted after he was asked about Todd Boehly's comments. And then some. And it's that some that has kind of put spice into the mix. And now we don't know what we're getting. Let's get into it. Here's what Pochettino had to say in full. Asked, will he stay? And gives a huge answer. Saying, look, it's not important. The most important thing is to keep going. Working if we are all happy. Not only the owners happy with us, or us, with all the organisation the club is building here, because of them we are all under assessment. If we are happy, perfect. But it is not only if the owners are happy or the sporting directors are happy. If we are happy, you need to ask us also. Because maybe we are not happy and we accept the situation and we need to split. It is not going to be the first time the coaching staff at the end of the season decides to not keep going. But at this end, it is always the opposite way. It is always the owners or the sporting directors. They can say tomorrow, maybe I can say I want to leave. It is two parties to make a decision. Because Chelsea is not happy, the owners or the sporting directors. Maybe we are not happy because we arrive here with a job to do, and in the end, it has not happened what we expect. I am not saying I am not happy, but it is always one side, and maybe we need to look at the other side. I'm going to quote Ron Simmons. For those that know. Damn! Damn! Because this is I'm not surprised. Now, he at the end of that, he tried to make it look like that this is not what I'm saying. Kind of like just a message to the journalists that you always want to just look at the owners and sporting directors. Are they happy? They're going to make the judgment. It's all them. But Pochettino is saying, I've got an input too here. You know, maybe I'm not happy. You don't look at the managers. You don't look and say whether we want to stay, whether we're happy. Why is he saying that? Because at the end he tried to say, that doesn't mean that I'm not happy. He tried to make it look like I'm just hypothetically saying. He's not hypothetically saying. He's subliminally saying. That's what he's saying. Subliminally, he is saying the one thing that we've all had a suspicion to for quite some time, that he hasn't got what he wanted, and he didn't He hasn't got in this job what he initially thought he was going to get when he walked through the door. And that is something that isn't news. We've all mentioned it to an extent that we do reckon that there's a good chance here that he might not be happy. My problem with Pochettino is that it looked like he was just dealing with it. He's just, content with not being happy, content with not being given what he expected, content with not being given the tools that he thought he was going to get when coming into this job in the first place, And this is where the whole yes man thing started to come from. Because it was pretty evident that, and we heard the reports about him wanting certain players, wanting certain experience, having not really much of a say when it comes to targets and players that we're going for, not really having much of an input. All of this, we've spoken about at length throughout the entire season. So we've all known that deep down, he's not happy. My problem, and I think a lot of others, was that he wasn't making that clear. He just looked like he was sucking it up and just going, yeah, all right, no problem. Like, no, if you're unhappy, say something. You're under contract, you're protected, it's fine. If they're going to sack you, you're getting paid. At the end of the day, your principles are what means the most here. Your values. If you feel like you've been done, make yourself vocal. Let it be known. Now, he did mention just before saying all of this that he wants to be professional. And it's funny he said that, because straight after he mentioned all of this. Where does that leave things? I think Poch has played the perfect chess move here. Because he has mentioned it at a time where Todd Boehly has publicly, this is why I said yesterday, Todd Boehly, you got to be careful what you say. You got to be careful. There were some people that said that I was wrong in terms of saying that, by the way. When Todd Boehly said in his interview with Sportico, where after the last 2.5 games, we've seen exactly what we've been trying to do. And it's 2.5 games, brother. Why? And some people were like, well, no, but 2.5 games, we've looked really good. Yeah, but it's 2.5 games. It doesn't reflect the entire season. This is why I said, I want to see Nottingham Forest. I want to see Brighton. I want to see Bournemouth. I want to see how we're ending this season. We ain't got a choice but to win all those 3 games. And if we do win those 3 games, well, cool. We might have the conversation of maybe we're going somewhere. But if we don't, it's going to look just as silly as when Todd Boehly said we're going to beat Real Madrid 3-0 when we didn't. Simple as that. You don't say these things, which makes him look naive. But he came out publicly and said that. Perfect time for Pochettino to come and say, oi, I hold some cards here too, by the way. Perfect. If this is how he's really feeling, what we've suspected for a while, that he's not content with what he's been given since coming into the job, and now he's on the brink of maybe even losing his job, right? And he's not happy. Well, I'm finally glad that he's coming out biting. This is what we kind of wanted from Pochettino. And if this was done earlier, me personally, I would have been a lot more behind him. If this is how he's feeling and he's coming out and saying that, cool, we've got something to talk about now. Right? Because for quite many times during the season, it looked like he was just taking it on the chin. And that's been my main problem with him. Just taking it on the chin. Also, how we capitulate in second halves and we just didn't look like we knew what we was doing. And that was a reflection on Pochettino, if I was being completely honest. Which lately we've started to see has changed a little bit. But that doesn't mean, everything's fixed, which is what Todd Boehly alluded to. So Pochettino picking his moment here, he's got nothing to lose. The season's coming to an end. He's going to be assessed. But he's making it clear publicly that I'm going to assess you too, just as much as you're going to assess me. And I think that's the perfect chess move that Pochettino could have played. This is why I called it a chess move. So, very interesting. Some people are not happy with the timing of his comments. Some people are saying he shouldn't have said this. Personally, I think he's in a position that he can say that. If he really wants to, he can. Season's coming to an end. Damage is already done. Some people are saying that because we've got something to play for. Well, yeah, we've got something to play for, but that is between the players and the manager here. Clearly, the players like the manager, right? Clearly, these players are behind Pochettino. Well, cool, we've got nothing to worry about then. But you never know how those results are going to go. We can't lose a game. We can't even draw a game. We have to win all 3 games if we want Europa League. But Pochettino gives himself power here because even he knows that the managerial market now is getting weaker and weaker by the day because of all the names that are starting to get ticked off because they're either staying or they've already chosen where they're going or they're just not available, you know? So Pochettino, I think, has timed this to perfection in terms of his status at Chelsea with the owners and the assessment that's going to take place at the end of the season. Just as I honestly thought that Poch is staying, 100%. He's put this into the mix, and now I don't know what to think. Because it goes back to what I originally thought, where deep down, Poch isn't happy with what he's been dealt. He's not. And that's not to mean that he doesn't like the players or the team and whatnot. And I think there is a good relationship there between the team and the manager. But he wanted other things, and he's not got them. And now he's finally coming out with some backbone. Finally. Cool. That makes me like Poch a little bit more. Just a bit. So let's see how tomorrow goes. And let me tell you this. If he's coming out saying this and Chelsea get a result tomorrow, it's going to make him look even stronger. And that, I don't know what the owners are going to think about that one. What Bowley, Egbali, Clearlake are going to think about that one. But it's going to be very interesting to see where it all goes. Very interesting. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. I wasn't planning on doing this, but I saw these comments and I thought, whoa. Didn't think he was going to say that, but fair play to Pochettino on this one. I'm saying fair play to him. Backbone, finally. Good to see. Keep it up. And come on Chelsea tomorrow. I'm dying for us to win these 3 games. Because now I feel like we've actually got something to play for, thanks to United dropping off and Newcastle still being in and around the margin that we're in. Cool. We've got Europa League to play for. But something. So I'm buzzing for tomorrow. Preview for that game will be out later on. Make sure you're here for it, and I will catch all of you then. So, like I said, make sure you are hitting the subscribe button, hitting the notification bell. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Where do you stand on all of this? Do you think it's a chess move? What do you think on Pochettino's comments? Where do you think he stands? What do you think he feels? And the owners after this, do you think they stand? Let me know. Much appreciated. And I will catch all of you later on the preview. So, I'll see you then. Have a good one, people. See you lot later. Take care. And peace.